Meet the Ashby Hawkins family. For one summer, they're giving up the trappings of their modern lives and travelling back in time to live through 50 years of British weekends. Steph, Rob, Daisy and Seth will experience a radical transformation in how we spend our leisure time.
I'm free!
From the formal...
I feel like I'm going to a wedding.
...to the frivolous.
We're going on holiday.
From do-it-yourself to doing almost nothing.
You've turned into Wham!
Starting in 1950, their own home will be their time machine.
1961!
Fast-forwarding them through a new year each day.
What on earth are you doing?
We're making a massive dartboard.
It's beige!
Oh, there's a telly up in the corner as well, look.
As they discover how a social, technological
What's that?
and spending revolution has transformed our free time forever.
Are you ready?
Yeah!
Last time, in the 60s, it was out with the old and in with the new. Now they're strutting into the 70s, a decade with something for everyone.
I was not born to stand in a muddy field trying to put together a stupid tent.
It's the third phase in the Ashby Hawkins time-travelling adventure. And the family's 1960s home has been transformed into a shrine to all things 70s. Social historian Polly Russell is with me to explore what this new decade has in store for the family. Wow, so here you are, 1970. You see, we've used a lot of brown.
And there's so much more stuff. The room is just filled with stuff. These are all gadgets that are about leisure, aren't they? This feels like a room that's dedicated to comfort, a space in which you lounge, so spend more time relaxing.
Throughout this experiment, everything the Ashby Hawkins do will be guided by the Family Expenditure Survey. Over 10,000 families a year took part in this government study, recording their spending on everything from clothes pegs to a new car. The original handwritten diaries have been shredded, but their data give the best possible clues as to what families were doing in their leisure time.
We've had the surveys analysed, and what they show, and it's sort of evidenced in the house, is that people are spending more money on more goods.
TVs and radios, I can see.
Yep, holidays. This is the first decade where people are spending a significant proportion of their income on leisure activities, on fun. Compared to how things were in the 50s and 60s, you're really seeing a change in behaviour.
The austerity of the 1950s meant that work, rather than play, dominated the family's free time. The increasing affluence of the 60s brought in new forms of entertainment. And by the 70s, evidence of our increased spending power is everywhere. So people have more disposable income and are spending it on all this stuff, but where does this money come from?
Well, one of the reasons that there's more money available is that there is an enormous amount of unionised labour. More than 400 unions exist at this time. And what that means is that wages keep pace with and sometimes exceed inflation. Remember, inflation is very high at this period. People are also spending on credit. That's what's really significant in this decade. And so there's an increase of about 90% spend on leisure activities.
The 1970s is often perceived as a period of political and economic turmoil. But despite regular strikes, fears of rising unemployment and hyperinflation, most British families enjoyed higher wages and more time off than ever before. One 70s survey reported that Britons were among the happiest people in the world.
My memory of my childhood is that we did spend a lot of really good time together as a family. So I'm just really looking forward to the 70s. And I'm hoping that I'm going to spend more time out of the kitchen than in it this time. And I've even painted my nails in honour of that, so...
I hope to have a lot of fun. 70s is disco. Come on, it's Saturday Night Fever, Bees Gees. I love it. 70s is, you know, my home.
This is the bit that I love. Seeing the house gives me butterflies.
Oh my. Oh, we got yellow curtains.
Wow.
This is hideous.
They match.
Yeah, I can land planes again.
It's a bar.
It is. That is kind of cool.
Oh, you could do a selfie with it.
2 minutes in, there's all this other stuff to look at, and you're just doing a selfie. Unbelievable.
Oh no. It's not.
So much bigger.
But that is not a cute bunny.
It says sweets on the front, though.
Yeah, but that is not a cute. Its head comes off.
Wow, look at this.
The house isn't the only thing that's changed.
We've got a patio, and can I just say, I've got a sun lounger. I feel like we've really gone up in the world.
Hang on.
You broke the patio.
I was born in the 70s. I was born in 1971, so I remember everything because I enjoyed it so much, and I love every bit of it.
Yeah, you moved it. It was not there. It was a centimetre away.
Daisy won it, I'm afraid.
It's a huge contrast to the 50s. It's like, you know, the conveyor belt stuff in the Generation game. You know, there's this and there's this and there's a cuddly toy, and it's just, there's so much stuff.
Wow.
Hello, Giles.
Good afternoon.
You look extraordinary. I mean, extraordinarily marvellous. You're probably expecting quite a lot of social change and excitement.
Rob.
You're going to have a bit more spare time and free cash, things to do, spend a bit more time with your children. Steph, you are still basically tied down to the stove.
How progressive.
Daisy, there is progression because although you're still at school, because the school leaving age has gone up to 16, you don't have to aspire anymore to being a housewife like your mother. And Seth, really, you know, you're a 12-year-old boy. Just get on with your thing, even if you are dressed as Rupert Bear. This is your manual for the 70s.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy the decade of love.
Thanks, Giles.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Charles.
By 1970, Britons were spending less time at work and more at play. The average working day was around 40 minutes shorter than it had been a decade earlier. For Rob, that will mean more spare time and a chance to try out the latest craze sweeping suburbia.
Right, son. What are we making?
Beer.
Beer.
Step 1, heat 3 litres of water to 71 degrees and in grain mixture.
Stirring gently.
Over the 70s, our alcohol consumption rose by nearly 40%. And brew it yourself really took off. So much so that even Boots sold a home brew kit.
With 85p and one of these and some water and sugar, you can make yourself 40 pints of wallop.
Home brewing required plenty of patience. The fermentation process could take up to 3 weeks.
Modern era, I'd never make my own beer. Would you?
No, I wouldn't. Well, I'm 12. I wouldn't really.
Well, by the time this is finished, you'll be 18. You'll be able to have a glass of it, won't you?
In their normal lives, Rob is a stay-at-home dad, and Steph is the main breadwinner. But so far in this experiment, their roles have been reversed, reflecting the fact that, even by the 1970s, half of married women were full-time housewives.
Put your feet up, Doc.
And although our homes were now full of labour-saving devices, it was still a woman's job to push them around.
On this magazine, I don't know if it's serious or not. Did people actually think that moustaches were, you know, attractive and sexy?
Yeah.
At what point do you go, oh, he's nice, I want to get with him? He's saying what I'm thinking. Very nice.
Very nice.
That's the hour.
Yep. Now, it says place sieve over third empty pot, pour grains into sieve and collect sugary liquid, or wort, in the empty pot below.
Check. Beer.
Seth, we've got a telephone. It's so cool. It's so cool. I mean, the only issue is I can't take it around the house, so I've got to sit here. Do you like it?
It is a bit impractical. Because in, like, Monday, you just go contact list, find their name, hit, cool.
It's better than the phone box.
The Ashby Hawkins are among the lucky ones. They've joined the 35% of households who now have a telephone line. Like this London family who spent £1.45 a month renting their phone from the post office.
It means I can have my 4-hour telephone calls again.
That would cost a lot of money.
That's fine, I'm not paying the bill.
I think it's unfair that I'm still doing all of the housework. I don't understand why, because I'm a woman, I should be doing all the housework. I didn't understand it in the 50s, 60s, and now the 70s.
I don't know any tunes.
First day, massive smile, and I made beer. Although I've got to wait 2 or 3 weeks to drink it. I might just go and buy some beers while I'm waiting. Maybe they'll do the job. All right. Thank you.
It's a new day, and in this experiment, that means a new year.
It's 1971.
Yay!
Hey, I was born then. Where's the phone?
Do you want to go get it?
I'm going to go and get the phone. No cheating.
I'm not cheating.
So far in this experiment, Rob and Steph have rented their home.
Hello? Giles?
But I've made arrangements that could change all that.
Okay, thanks very much.
Bye, kids.
See you, kids.
See you later.
See you later.
Throughout the 50s and 60s, the majority of Britons rented their properties. Even by 1971, only 49% of British families were homeowners. And getting a mortgage required a face-to-face meeting at the bank or building society.
Our last mortgage, I did pretty much sat in my pants at home on a computer.
You can't do that today. You have to be like this.
I've got to go in a suit and tie.
In 1971, the Conservative government had encouraged high street banks to enter the mortgage market. And the number of home loans quadrupled.
Bedroom, second bedroom, the master bedroom.
You know, when you do tell people you've got your own house, then, you know, it's a status symbol, you know, you just feel nice, you know.
Because you pay rent, I mean, you pay it for the rest of your life, and at the end of it, you have nothing to show.
I feel the earth.
Oh!
Under my feet, I feel the sky.
Come on, Max. Jump off the edge. Jump off the side.
I feel my heart.
With their parents otherwise occupied, Seth has joined friends at an adventure playground, while Daisy's at a nearby youth club.
Come on, come on, come on.
L-O-S-E-R.
In 1971, nearly 7 out of 10 teenagers were youth club members.
Oh, it's actually not that bad. Oh, no!
Children had far greater freedom to play and to roam,
Oh, God, they're really thin.
often in conditions that would be considered downright dangerous now. Playtime meant scrambling over old tyres, planks, and plenty of tarmac.
Over there, when we were injuring each other, that was fun, because normally adults would be stopping us saying, oh no, don't do that, don't do that. But it adds to the fun, the fact that we are doing what we want to do.
Today, 1/3 of children aged 8 to 10 have never played outside without an adult. And 2/3 have never been to a park by themselves.
Normally I'd be sitting inside playing on my computer and Skyping my friends. I feel like this is a much better way than computers, because you're out and about, you're socialising with your friends, you're laughing, you're having fun, and it's just a lot better than just looking at them through a computer screen.
Seth is back just in time for tea and to hear some good news.
Dear Mr. Hawkins, the bank is prepared to lend you the undermentioned amount, subject to conditions, advance of £5,000.
Wow.
£5,000 to buy a house in 1971. We're rich!
Does that mean we can change the wallpaper?
Why would you want to change the wallpaper?
Why would...
Between 1970 and 73, house prices more than doubled. The cost of the average British home soon hit £10,500, and an all too familiar problem emerged.
With inflation on this scale, for many the prospect of ever owning their own home forever retreats into the distance.
La dolce vita, the sweet life.
Rising levels of ownership saw more Brits than ever using their free time to indulge in a spot of home improvement.
You'll find fuses mainly in two places. In the fuse box, they're clever, these electrical people, and in the plug itself, if you've got one of these square pin plugs.
People were spending on wallpaper, paint, tools and brushes. Like this family in the East Midlands, who spent £3.45 on DIY materials. While the Ashby Hawkins have invested in another 70s fad, cork tiles.
It's really satisfying. It's really satisfying.
Our difference.
And I've actually got a smile on my face. The point is we're making a difference to the house. Well, I'm so happy to be out of the kitchen. I'm so happy that we're actually doing something together and interacting.
Mine's going much better than yours.
Already managed to mess this up.
It looks so cute.
God, this is so difficult.
I'm making a daisy.
It's just lovely to be actually doing something. I do think it is like you get an idea and you execute it to the nth degree.
What on earth are you doing?
We're making a massive dartboard.
What we're doing, Daisy, is this is home improvement to the home that we now own.
What are you doing to this house? Seth, come see what Mum and Dad have ruined.
You've led the witness.
Seth, you've got to give me an honest opinion, Seth, OK? Don't be led into it.
Come here, come here and look. What do you think? It's not finished
What
yet.
have you done? Exactly, there we go. So you get a mortgage, which means you're allowed to do anything to your house, and the first thing you do is that.
1971, and I actually got out of the kitchen. Woo! OK, well, I moved from one side of the room to the other, but, you know, hey, it's progress, isn't it? I've really enjoyed today, because we've got to spend time together.
You realise there's a cork tile on your head.
Oh, I like this DIY
Where's the
larky.
cloth?
Yeah, 1971. It's all right, if you like cork tiles.
It's 1972. See you then, darling. Off to work.
Good day.
And you. Bye-bye.
In about 25 minutes' time, we shall know which player has won the Pop Black Trophy.
What board is that?
How can you tell if they're doing well or not? Why would
I
you
do
be
like the bow
sweating?
ties, though.
Yeah, their outfits are kind of cool.
Oh, we've got some post, kids. It's 1972, the year of borrow now, pay later. I like the sound of that. Hot off the press, here's your very latest Access credit card. Woohoo! And I've arranged your first purchase too. Happy spending from Giles. Look at that. It's a credit card.
Access, your flexible friend.
Although the first credit card had been introduced 6 years earlier, the arrival of Access in 1972 rapidly increased their popularity. I'm meeting financial expert Martin Lewis to find out how the explosion of credit would transform our leisure time.
Hiya, nice to see you. There it is, the Access card itself. Borrow now, pay later was their catchphrase.
So what were people doing up until now?
Before we had this type of credit card freedom, whatever you wanted to buy, if you needed to borrow for it, you had to go and talk to the bank manager or the building society. You had to pitch it to them, bow and scrape. Would it be OK if? How much is it going to cost? I'm not sure you should be doing that. This card's totally different. Just the name itself, access to whatever you want, access to go and buy your washing machine. Look at the advert. Access helps you listen in stereo.
And he looks very relaxed about paying.
Right, now, what do we need in this store? Children's clothes, food mixer, cosmetics? Oh.
Access, the ads promised, took the waiting out of wanting. By the end of the decade, 9 million of us had a credit card. That's 1 in 4 adults. The future was plastic.
Hello, madam. I've got your first purchase that you made. How are you?
I'm good.
Is your first purchase here for you?
Is it heavy?
Well, heavy for you, but not for me.
Are you sure? Don't want you to
Right,
take it back
how's
in.
that? No, that's okay.
Not everyone could have their new telly delivered by a relative.
I'm used to this.
But in 1972, Steph's uncle Mario was a manager at high street electrical chain Curry's.
Keep watching, you'll see what happens. Look at that.
Oh, it's coloured. That looks really cool.
You can actually make sense of the game now.
I used to watch Pop Black with my dad. I used to watch it in black and white, and then when we had colour, I watched it even more. I used to love it.
Yeah, it's smashing, isn't it? First colour television came out. I seem to remember that we cleared the shop floor, you know, everything. We reached a stage where everything was sold.
Wow.
Colour television was a new gizmo. People said, oh, tonight snooker is on. It was a social evening, you know. You get a few sandwiches out and things like that and watch colour television. You can say, oh, look, the black's gone in.
Colours are absolutely beautiful. It is it's a beautiful television.
Yeah, it does. It feels like more vibrant.
While the kids settle in for an afternoon in front of the telly, Steph's found some precious time for herself. She's getting into the homemade spirit of the 70s.
Cloth kits. You can make your own. They're printed with patterns on, and all you have to do is cut around the outline and stitch them together. It's actually quite therapeutic to do this because I'm making something. It's actually doing something that's useful and creative and fun. I had a cloth kit skirt when I was a little girl, so this really brings back memories. They've got some corking stuff in there, like, look, did you put your child in that?
Oh, it's Blue Peter!
In '72, even classic children's TV couldn't avoid news of a looming crisis.
Now, what with the power cuts continuing and the situation doesn't appear to be going to get very much better in the near future, it's a particularly difficult time for old people.
Certainly is, because old people get cold very easily.
We've got a bed over here, and the best thing to do is to lay out sheets of newspaper fairly thickly between the blankets. And if you do that, the old folks will stay as warm as toast.
In January 1972, 300,000 miners had walked out on strike, demanding a 25% pay increase to keep pace with inflation. In these days before North Sea oil, Britain consumed 2 million tonnes of coal a week. With the mines closed, the national grid risked shutdown, and power cuts became a regular occurrence. Sales of candles and camping gas rocketed, and many factories and offices closed before dark. So Rob's able to come home early.
I'm home!
And that means more fun with the family.
Hey, hi kids.
Tonight, it's indoor golf.
We can't do this on a carpet.
Yeah, I'm going to.
No, on the floor without the carpet.
There we go. Okay.
What's the par?
It's a par 2. Okay.
Okay. Hole in one. One.
I don't think at any point I was thinking, oh yeah, 1970s golf on the shag pile. I didn't think that at all.
That's 5. That's 7.
Oh my God, Dad! Stop it! Mum, is the window insured?
What?
Nothing.
No, don't worry about it.
You've broken my house.
18.
Hey! It's time to put it away, that's what it is. Yeah,
No, it's not.
I'll play that. Oh no.
Oh no.
Where's the candles?
Where's the dog?
Power cut.
Mum.
Got a couple more in the kitchen.
Go on, Naya.
And because I now can't sew, I thought I'd join in with a candlelit game of golf.
Okay, so 2, 5 or 6. 2, 5 or 6. Come on.
It's also a bit strange now because 70s sort of seems a lot more technology reliant. I mean, you've got colour TV, stereos, and then suddenly, oh no, you can't have any of this anymore.
You don't have the power.
Here, have some power cuts.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Why?
The French national anthem is on this an historic morning for Britain, our first in the European Economic Community.
In January '73, Britain had joined the EEC, opening new trade markets with Europe. So today, the Ashby Hawkins are getting a French-made continental treat. It's being delivered by the very first presenter of Top Gear.
Hello, Angela Rippon. Hello.
And that's where we end this first edition of Top Gear. I bought you a new car.
Oh, it's lovely. Thank you so much. How exciting.
I think it's a bit bigger than the last one you had. You had a Mini, didn't you?
I did. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yes. But this is a Renault 5.
The Renault 5 was one of 1973's most popular new models. It could do 0 to 60 in an impressive 19 seconds.
Very innovative because it's got a hatchback. We decided we wouldn't give you any old rubbish.
We're so thrilled, thank you.
Not at all. Well, I hope you enjoy driving it. Who's got the keys?
It's a shame we can't take Angela with us.
I'm not going in the boot.
Oh, that's
Back in the 60s, Rob had taken the wheel. But now, like a third of 70s women, Steph's got a licence. Just like Angela.
There are a lot of bad drivers. Some of them are women, but an awful lot of them are men.
By 1973, just over half of Britons owned a car, opening up more options for our leisure time. From trips to historic buildings and the seaside, to simply popping out to the pub.
Kids, me and your mum are going in for a beer.
What? We're going to be out.
You're going to stay in the car.
We'll see you later.
The window's open to keep you cool.
Why'd you bring us in the first place?
See you later.
You left us in a car.
It'll be another 21 years before children are allowed in pubs. Luckily for Rob and Steph, 70s attitudes to childcare were more relaxed than today.
Spot the ball. They're jumping up. He's having a look over here. He's looking down. Should we do one each?
There.
Okay.
They just abandoned us. They drag us all the way to the pub, and we can just stay in the car. I'm not a dog. We have no phones, we have no computers, we have no books, we have nothing. We're going to sit in here bored.
Cosmopolitan.
Yep, it's looking good already. Oh.
Should you be single? Quiz.
You'll have many lovers.
Don't look at me like that.
But when break-up time comes, you're the first to move on. Sometimes friends find you a bit too in command. Yeah.
To celebrate joining the EEC, Steph's preparing a continental feast. While Rob, who normally does the cooking, puts his feet up.
So I'm cooking French tonight. And I've never made the bourguignon before.
Really hungry now. Thanks for making me hungry, Mum.
Here's the wine. This is the continental bit. The only thing I've got is leftover Chianti, which for me is very unusual to have anything left over on the wine department.
You sound like an alcoholic.
What I want to talk about today is the fact that a decision rarely has a single intended impact, but more
While her
usually
Boeuf Bourguignon simmers, Steph's using the time to broaden her horizons.
This point is no means new to
She's starting an Open University social studies course.
It's actually quite hard to watch this because the facial hair is quite alarming and the jumpers are quite distracting.
Let's take a decision maker A who intends an impact X.
The OU had taken on its first students in 1971. Courses could be done from home, making them an attractive option for housewives.
This could, I think, have a tremendous impact of change. The OU itself could be revolutionary.
Perhaps it isn't so awful being married to somebody who can actually think instead of just hoover and dust.
If I were a 70s housewife, I think I would have been doing anything to keep my brain alive. I think there were probably a lot of women who felt very trapped that actually use this as an escape. So, brilliant.
Family, it's 1974.
1974 began with another economic crisis. Conflict in the Middle East led to a sharp hike in the price of petrol. It now cost 5 times what it had in 1969.
The price of petrol is going to go up to 50p a gallon. They decided to do more than double the price of their oil from $5.09 to $11.6.
That's a big hike, isn't it?
We're going to have to think twice about going out in the car.
The government's response was to implement a 3-day working week in an effort to save fuel and resources.
So what does it mean to us then?
Basically, it means there's going to be more power cuts and I'm going to be spending more time at home with you.
I thought the 70s was going to improve. The last time we spent time with the family, you left me in the car with Seth. That's not family time.
The government has ordered severe cuts in electricity.
The 3-day week meant a period of adjustment to a more basic way of living. Streetlights were dimmed by 50% to save power. Speed limits were reduced to a maximum of 50 miles an hour to conserve fuel. Even the BBC closed down early at 10:30 p.m.
On behalf of all of us here at the television centre, a very good night. Good night.
But there were some benefits. The 3-day working week meant a 4-day weekend.
Richard's bicycle book says before we go out on our bikes, first of all, we have to test to make sure that everything is in working order. Check the brakes, please. Just roll forward a little bit and check the brakes. Yeah, they work excellently well. Just check your lights.
I don't have one.
Check the dynamo. You've got dynamo on the back. There we are. Off you go, then.
Don't have a helmet.
It may be the man I am today not wearing a helmet, so off you go. Dear kids, from me and Richard, bye-bye.
During the 3-day week, more and more Britons abandoned their fuel-guzzling cars for pedal power. By the end of the decade, bike sales had trebled, with well over 1 million new bikes sold every year.
So far, 1974 has been really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it. It just going out is really nice. It's much better than the 60s and 50s where I was quite indoors a lot. Do you know what, Seth? In the 70s, we've actually spent quite a lot of time together, and do you know what? I'm glad we have. I love you, my little brother.
I don't.
I think Seth's just being a bit modest about spending time with me.
You're not cool.
That's so rude.
The 3-day week means Rob's got more time to share with Steph too. Although Mastermind's perhaps not top of his list. So I've sent a special guest with one of the decade's most popular games.
It's the door.
You getting it?
We're both getting it.
We're both at the door. Hello, Eric Bristow. Wow.
I'll shake your hand.
I would say, come in, welcome to the 1970s.
Hello, sir. Oh, yeah. Good afternoon.
Follow you.
Very well.
Thank you.
Welcome to our house.
Yeah.
How absolutely amazing. Fancy a game?
In the mid-70s, darts was phenomenally popular. According to one national survey, 3 times as many adults regularly played darts as played football. Eric Bristow was then a rising star in the game.
A warm welcome to Eric Bristow. Come on, Eric.
He went on to be 5 times world darts champion.
What was it like playing in the 70s?
It was superb. It was different era. I mean, we played darts then on TV where you could have a pint.
Yeah.
And you can smoke it even on TV.
Of course, yeah. I've got some beer actually that I made
I'm not trying
recently.
it. I'm not trying it. I'm not trying to go blind in one eye. You know what I mean?
I had a brewing kit and I made some beer.
Dangerous.
It is. So how did you get started?
My dad got me a dartboard when I was 11. But by the time I was 14, he took me down to a local pub and he used to play for a tenner a game, 6pence a game then. Get in there, you ever go there.
Go on, go there, bullseye. Pound for bullseye, pound for bullseye.
Darts may have taken off down the pub, but it wasn't just for men.
Everybody had thrown a dart. Even my mother joined the ladies' dart team. Once a week she used to go out with them, and it was just a bit of fun, and that's still the same now. Yeah. I nearly killed the cameraman.
Yeah, I nearly did. 5.
Yeah! See, that's it. Cut, that's it.
Let's play darts.
Oh, Moses!
The Daily Mail reported that, despite the global crisis, the 3-day week may actually be good for us.
58.
It seems that it was just a lot more family time now that's being spent in the 70s. There's a lot more bonding experiences that it doesn't happen in the modern day, but not really that often, because we all sort of like, oh yeah, hello, yeah, food, let's eat, done. That's it. So it just seemed a lot nicer now. I don't know why, it just felt a lot nicer.
I'm really enjoying the experience and finding it very different. Do you know what, I realise I'm really not missing my technology as much as I thought I would.
20.
Oh, I would expect myself to go, oh, I don't have my phone, but I really don't care.
Yeah?
That was, wait, 1, 2...
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I give you 1975.
Yay!
Guess what? We're going...
Oh, look at those. I won't be able to do that in my skirt, but they're cool.
We're going on holiday.
Don't let me hear you say life's taking you nowhere.
In 1975, about 8 out of 10 holidays were taken in the UK. Full-time workers were now entitled to 3 to 4 weeks paid holiday, almost double what they'd enjoyed in 1960.
Any prize, all the way around, it's yours.
But with inflation running at over 20% that summer, most families had to watch the pennies.
Who's looking forward to going camping?
Yay! Fishing. We're all going on a summer holiday.
I'm not singing that. I'm not singing that. Can't do that.
We're all going on a rainy holiday.
Yeah, we're here, kids. We're here.
Yay! Woo!
So is this our pitch here?
This is it.
Were you parking right in the middle of the pitch?
Just right here, look. Huh?
Right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit in the front and instruct you.
You're gonna sit in the
on
front
how to do it.
Pitch it here.
Here.
You okay there?
Can't undo the knot.
This is revenge for when you left us in the car.
Yeah.
When you went to the pub.
This bit
Yeah.
runs across the top, pointy top of
This
the
is
roof.
the top. This is the top.
Yes. The red is
So I should be holding it like this then? I'll put this tent pole somewhere in a minute. Stick that in that corner there, that connects, wouldn't it?
Stop it. Really? You can't do that on a campsite.
Is the roof done?
Doesn't look very stable.
We've been here for about an hour now and the tent is
Yeah.
still not up.
Oh, is it going to stay up? If you had the choice of a cheap package holiday to somewhere warm and sunny and this, yeah, no contest for sun for me every time.
There Steph Ashby goes. Is she gonna do it? Is she gonna do it? Whoa! They've broken it again.
I was not born to stand in a muddy field trying to put together a stupid tent with no proper instructions.
That's not in line. That bit's wrong.
Who's gonna lose it first? Mum or Dad?
You're not helping, okay? Do you hear me, the rest of you?
Rob, don't.
You can see why we don't go camping in modern day.
This is why we don't go
Not
camping.
because we don't want to, because of this.
It's taken 3.5 hours, but finally the holiday can begin.
Ready, steady, and they're off.
Poor Daisy! Daisy's
Daisy's the winner! Winner!
Camping was synonymous with simple pleasures in the great outdoors. Whatever the weather.
You caught anything yet?
No, not yet. When I was a lad, my dad used to take myself and my brothers fishing all the time. I used to absolutely love it. He used to tie the rod to my bomber bike. One of my favourite sports ever.
Yeah, I really enjoy it.
I'm glad you enjoy it. I'm passing that down to you.
Camping wasn't everyone's cup of tea, though. It's probably no surprise that many Britons turned their backs on the charms of the UK and flocked to sunny Spain.
Burning hot 76.
The series of high anomalies over Europe has meant that we've had far higher pressure than usual.
I don't actually know what he's talking about.
This country is now in one of the worst periods of drought since records began 200 years ago.
As the country enjoyed the hot summer of 76, Brits took any opportunity to spend more time outside.
So you rinse the bonnet, or as they call it in France, du bonnet. Nice soapy bubbles.
Bubbles! You know, you can never say bubbles angrily.
What are you doing? Stop.
Ladies?
We've got to conserve water. We've got to cut our water consumption by half. Turn our stopcock down by 90% to reduce the flow. Flush the toilet only when absolutely essential.
What does that mean?
If it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down.
Yeah.
So it's basically the code of your jumper.
That summer, temperatures peaked at 35.9 degrees centigrade. Weather more reminiscent of the Costa del Sol than Clacton. Water was in such short supply, we were even encouraged to save water, bath with a friend.
I'm trying to do the breakfast washing up, but because the stopcock is turned down 90%, it's just taking an absolute age to get any water. This I would normally just tip straight down the sink, but this is destined for reuse, so probably to flush the toilet. Very essential.
As the drought dragged on, ever more desperate water-saving measures were introduced, and some families even had their supply cut off altogether. Whole streets had to share communal standpipes.
Us British, we can't decide if we like the hot weather or the cold weather. And then we complain if it rains, and then we complain if it's too sunny.
While the kids head to the standpipe, Polly's arrived with a delivery for their garden.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, Polly. Hello.
How are you?
So have you been having a balmy time today, 1976?
Yeah.
We sent the kids out to get
On the
water.
standpipe, yeah, while we sat inside.
It is difficult to believe, isn't it?
Yes.
I think if you were actually wearing that much nylon in 1976, you'd have fainted with the heat.
Yeah. So why the oranges?
More people are going abroad, so people are bringing back a bit of the exotic to the sort of English garden. And particularly in 1976, really great to grow plants from a Mediterranean climate which are going to withstand this summer of incredible heat. It was a real challenge for gardeners in 76 to keep their gardens alive. Obviously patios, which is an idea that comes from Spain, and rockeries, they're much more easier to manage than the kind of English sort of idyllic lawn.
There we go. A bit more. Otherwise we're going to be here for ages.
Got to bend my knees for this.
Put your back into it.
Brought back a memory of my dad attaching a hose into the bath upstairs and then trying with suction, like he did with his home brew, to try and get the water flowing down into buckets and stuff downstairs.
Really...
I remember that.
Do you know what? That was actually advice given in the Times.
Turn it on!
I can't!
Empty the coffee jug out. No, into the bucket!
Ah, I can't do anything! Oh, it's all over my...
I don't even need to shower.
Seth, come on, you've got to help me.
I think we should give the problem to the eldest. Have fun.
One of the other consequences of the drought was that aphids died, and as a result of that, ladybirds had none of their own natural food, and there were great swarms of ladybirds. Lots of reports of people being bitten, and they became the sort of killer ladybird.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
By the end of August, some parts of Britain had gone 45 days without rain.
Ice cream van.
It was good news for some, though.
This is a blast from my childhood, having an ice cream van.
It's very loud.
It's the best thing ever, isn't it? How beautiful.
Oh, I remember all of this from my childhood. It's amazing.
Cardboard, yes. Of course, they used to cover the ice cream in cardboard, didn't they? They used to lick the cardboard. It was delicious.
Oh,
you can have
lemonade lollies.
Lemonade lollies for you?
I'll have to have a mini milk.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. There's some money.
Oh, thank you. Oh, delicious.
Look at that. This is absolutely lovely.
Tender, yes. That's another hit.
You've already asked me that one.
It's 1977, and Queen Elizabeth is celebrating her Silver Jubilee. And it's a big year for Steph, too. For the first time since she started this experiment, Steph's going out to work.
So I have to say, it feels pretty good to have finally been getting out of the house to do something other than go shopping. Actually going out to work. I never thought I'd say that. I'm really looking forward to going to work. It's great. Can't wait. See you later.
Then I look at you.
The 70s are often seen as a period of doom and gloom. For women, the decade brought many positive changes.
Just one look at you.
By the mid-70s, about 50% of married women were in some form of paid employment, compared to 1 in 3 just a decade earlier. Leaving the kids back at home, Steph's taken a part-time job at her local library.
I'm not actually thinking about what anyone else at home might be doing right now, which probably makes me a terrible mother, but they're big enough and ugly enough to take care of themselves, aren't they? And I'm just concentrating on what I'm doing, so it's kind of nice, really. Actually, they might have to make a cup of tea for themselves. Excuse me, I must get on.
Steph's not the only one welcoming new opportunities. High-profile campaigns for equality were starting to make a real difference to women's lives.
I think it's absolutely tremendous. Women are coming together and they want a change.
The recent introduction of an Equal Pay Act and a Sex Discrimination Act provided encouragement that the days of the housebound housewife may at last be coming to an end.
It's not exactly stretching the mind, but it's lovely to be out in my little womb-like office at the library. So yeah, I'm smiling. I like it.
No!
And with another wage coming in, there's enough money for the latest in 70s home entertainment.
Aww. How would the trailer for this game be like in modern day?
Trailer. They'd have a family on there going, looking really amazed by it all. And rightly so, because this is the first computer game. 3-0.
This is actually kind of difficult.
4-0. It's not. No,
I'm changing the game, damn it.
No, don't change it halfway through. I did actually play this to death when I was a kid. I mean, I played it and played it and played it and played it.
I want my laptop back now.
This basic game that we're looking at here, one can turn it into a football game, one can turn it into a basketball game.
Sounds to me, if you have your way, nobody will be watching television. They're all playing ball games. Oh, I say.
Would you like to serve to me?
No, I'm absolutely duff at it.
It's Seth's first taste of video games technology and a sign of things to come. He might be playing on a British console, but foreign expertise was challenging the notion that buying British is best. Just a decade earlier, a survey had asked Brits to name the country they'd least like to buy from. Japan topped the poll. But now British consumers were waking up to what Japanese manufacturers had to offer. And their innovative and affordable technology began to fill our homes. Like this family in London, who paid £55.15 for an imported stereo.
Oh, look at this.
Right, quick, move the box.
Box out of the way.
This is the exciting thing.
A cassette player.
Oh, it's got the radio as well. It's a music system, isn't it? Where that one we've got a separate amp and whatever, this is all in one.
Why is there a record player?
So the record, you play the record and you can record it straight onto tape. Yeah, and then you stop the tape, and then you put another record on to play your next song.
That is awesome.
It's like the start of mixing, yeah? I'm going to make a mix of Pink Floyd and Santana. Mash it up a bit, you know? I think that'd be really cool.
There we go. I'm on BBC now.
Oh,
yeah! I can't do groovy dancing at this.
Just follow your dad. Follow my lead.
Back in the 50s, the lounge had been a place of quiet reflection and the occasional piano recital. But by the 70s, anything goes.
Turn. And to the sky!
Today I actually managed to get, like, a computer game. It's something I was actually expecting in the 70s, but actually now it's here, I'm really excited. So I'm hoping for a lot more technology and better technology in the 80s. And that's just basically what I'm hoping for. And better video games to play and an Atari, because that'd be nice. That's, yeah.
While I eat my butterscotch Angel Delight. Whoa, amazing. I I went to work today, part-time job in the library. That's quite fun, lovely to be out. It was odd being away from the family, but actually a more normal feeling for me because I spent a lot of my time separated from the family. But I'm sure a lot of women in the 70s would have been really worrying about how the troops were getting on at home and whether they were burning the house down.
Now Steph's at work, Rob can get back in the kitchen for the first time, albeit only in his marigolds.
Yes, it's Friday and it's Crackerjack!
What the heck's... What type of a name is Crackerjack?
In cricket, what does LBW stand for?
Leg before wicket.
Leg before wicket, well done.
Who's giving that kid toilet rolls? That's not a prize. They are just the dumbest prizes I've ever seen.
For Daisy, Friday night's a chance to let loose. In 1978, a new phenomenon hit our shores all the way from the USA. Roller disco. Skating had been popular since the 30s, but now it had its own soundtrack. Radio 1 DJ Trevor Nelson was a teenager growing up in North London in the late 70s.
I was brought up in Hackney, which was very black, Asian, Jewish, everything.
Yeah, so multicultural.
Lovely multicultural era. I loved it. In Hackney, I felt that the whole world was like this.
Yeah.
But I realised when I first went out of London, it's not like this.
Yeah.
Mass immigration was changing the face of the nation, particularly in our inner cities. The Britain that young people were growing up in was a world away from that of their parents' generation.
The late 70s, I'm 13. I used to wonder what I'm doing here. You know, black kid in sort of white England. How did I get here?
When you grow up, will it matter to you what colour somebody is?
I don't think so. No. All I look is for a kind heart.
But not everyone's attitudes were always so enlightened. Britain in the 70s remained rife with racial tension.
People are really rather afraid that this country might be rather swamped by people with a different culture. If you want good race relations, you've got to allay people's fears on numbers.
For all the tough talk, the number of immigrants in the late 70s had actually already started to fall. And although Britain's racial mix may not have been popular with everyone, there were signs of a more harmonious future.
I went to a school where I was in a minority.
Yeah.
But the way I connected with a lot of these guys was through music. Kind of prepared me for life.
Yeah.
And the one thing I'd say in a burgeoning multicultural world was music mixed the races more than anything else, especially when you're young. And when a disco tune was on, I think everybody was just dancing and feeling free. The only thing I'd say about disco, I didn't like the fashion.
Really?
No.
I love the white suit that John Travolta wears.
No. I hated the fashion.
Really?
Collars out here, flares, men wearing platforms.
Are you saying you hate what I'm wearing?
No, for women, fine. It was the first time I saw white men trying to get hair like black men. White men with afros, let's be honest.
Do the wave, do the wave.
Sorry. Disco 1978. It was awesome. I loved every minute of it. It was so much fun. You know, it's something different because most of the time my friends and I are just, you know, dancing in a corner. But this time we were like properly skating. It was so much fun. So yay for 1978.
They see me roll.
It's 1979, and the Ashby Hawkins have invited friends and family over to mark the end of the decade.
That's number 2.
There you go.
So, finishing off the party food, very colourful, lots of stuff on sticks, beef crisps, and the pièce de résistance really is the pâté in aspic.
Hey! Hello, parents.
Hiya.
Hello. You all right?
I like the access card.
A flexible friend.
Is that your mortgage?
It is my mortgage, yeah.
My God.
£5,000 mortgage, 20 years.
£5 grand.
For this house.
It's the bullseye!
I've come along too, a chance to try out Rob's homebrew and the 70s buffet.
Dark and orange pâté.
latte in aspic with tinned mandarin segments in it. I'm sure you'll love it.
I actually thought that was a placemat. Rob's prepared some classic 70s entertainment. A slideshow.
Very cool.
Oh, that's a selfie, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a selfie.
Oh, there's Stephanie there. Blending with the sofa. Very nice.
So it looks to me like the 70s was a better decade for you and your family.
I loved it.
Yeah, 70s was fantastic, wasn't it?
One of the things we wanted to do was spend more time with the kids and strengthen our relationship, and I think it's actually genuinely done that in the 70s. So I think us as a family, I think it's made us closer.
Why do you think that was? Was the 70s? Do you remember it being that great the first time round?
I loved it. My childhood was the 70s, and I was lucky to have a really happy childhood, and it was great second time round. And I think a lot of it was to do with the fact that we danced a lot.
So, kids, the 70s, surely a better decade for you.
70s has been amazing for me. I've actually got closer to Seth in the 70s. I definitely have. I've spent way more time with you. We've done a lot more stuff together, whereas in the 50s and 60s I spent no time with no one in the family. So definitely like closer to Seth with doing activities.
I reckon this was the best decade of all. It was a lot more entertaining. There was technology, which was pretty bad, but it's in hope of better technology in the future. I've enjoyed going out with my friends with no adults, no supervision, just me and my friends having fun.
Is this a ladies' night?
This is a ladies' night. Oh, yeah. Mum's got a dance to it. No, I'm a lady.
I think they're quite obviously having the time of their lives so far. There seems to be something for everyone. Rob is living the Dolce Vita.
That's what I'm doing.
Steph gets to go out for work and be a modern woman. For Seth, there's a little bit of technology. For Daisy, there's just even better than the 60s, the music and the fashion. They haven't yet gone over the tipping point when suddenly it was mobile phones and screens everywhere and we lost a little bit of something. The family seems to be closer together, they're boogieing. They're just really sorry that it's over.
I don't want the 70s to end. I want them to remain here forever. I don't want to go back to contemporary life. The 70s, we did loads of stuff together, and that's what it was all about for us, leisure time and pleasure time together. I think it's the closest we've ever been as a family before.
I said when I started this that I wanted to create memories. We have. I'm really emotional, it's ridiculous. It's really good. It's happy crying though. Fabulous.
Next time,
Read the instructions!
the family's leisure options multiply.
What's that?
You must have hit the shift key.
I want to go to a rave, like, right now.
In the decade when good taste was everything.
No! Daisy, stop it! We've got to live in here.
There's been so many things that's held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long, long way to go, and where we'll end up, I don't know.